You got it.
Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show, hosted by 216 Mike and E.G. LaFleur, and produced by Walt K. Disney. This
Ooh.
is a sports show with a college football focus that allows fans to create topics and discussions.
So what we want y'all to do is go ahead and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok. So make sure y'all hit that follow and like button. And then every Monday morning, if you miss a piece of tonight's show, we will be on all streaming podcast platforms. So go ahead and press that rewind button and play it back. And make sure you share it to your friends as well. All right, let's do it.
Hey,
Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. We got a jam-packed show tonight, so let's get right to it. I just want to start off by saying, rest in peace, Bill Russell. If people haven't heard, Bill Russell passed away today at the age of 88. They say
rest in
that
peace.
he is one of perhaps the greatest basketball player of all times, bringing home 11 champs with the Boston Celtics. And he passed away peacefully with his wife. I mean, I've seen him recently. You know, he's always at events. You know, he just looked fragile. Let me just put it that way. Yeah, he looked very fragile. He was getting up there in age. So, rest in peace to Bill Russell. You know, leaving his legacy. Also, they recently named a couple years ago the Finals MVP award after Bill Russell, so he still has that legacy that lives on in the NBA. And then moving on, former Raiders first round pick Damon Arnett was arrested. He was pulled over twice within a few hours on Monday night and Tuesday morning for driving with a suspended license. He was issued a citation during the first stop, and they let him go. Then the cops saw him driving around in the same exact car and decided to pull him over
What?
again. Yep. He.
That's I knew nothing about the second time.
Yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Honestly, it's just sad for a talented guy to be doing this. You know, we've heard of Damon Arnett, being in there, going on Instagram Live or something, like threatening to kill, like putting a gun in the clip in the picture. Then the stuff that happened out on the street. Now to just hear about this and the fact that we say so many things about cops, but they let them go the first time, right? They didn't search the car, didn't have no K9 come around or anything. But the second time, and then they find, something in his pocket and all of that. And it's just like, dude, I mean, he's a former Buckeye. I just hope that he can get his mental health together and he can get back out there on the field. But he first has to get himself together and get his mental together, man. So just prayers out to him and his family.
You know,
Yeah.
it's really sad, man, when guys with so much opportunity throw it away over a heated moment. Like you don't have an agent or a parent or a guardian that could get in your head and be like, just calm down. That's why you need good people in your circle, man. Just to keep you calm, to keep you collected. Like there's plenty of times I might have wanted to punch someone in the face at work or anything, just getting angry. But I have that instilled in me. I know how to teach myself to calm down. Life goes on. It's not that serious. And these pro athletes, they've had it made their whole life. And sometimes they just don't know how to calm down and stay cool in all situations. And it's crazy that he got two opportunities in the same night to go home and he still chose violence.
Yep.
It's
Decided
crazy.
decided to, especially in Miami. Isn't that the city where they said if you play your music too loud, there's a possibility you get pulled over and get a citation? So, I feel like they wilding down there in Florida. It's in the water, like they say. You know. And then so moving on to the XFL. So if for those who don't know, I had to do a little research myself. So it's the minor league consisting of 8 teams, and then the season runs from February to April, with each team playing 10 games in a regular season. So we basically get in football all year round, and I know a lot of people are happy about that. But they pick 8 locations and their teams as well. So they dropped out New York, Los Angeles, and Orlando, but they added Las Vegas, Uh, they added back Las Vegas. They added back Orlando and San Antonio. Currently in Arlington, Houston, St. Louis, Seattle, and Washington D.C. So, like I said, it's football year round. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking for seeing that these guys get an opportunity, especially after college when you think it's all over with, or even in the NFL, and being able to still play because a lot of these fellas they love the game. So
Yeah,
all right,
man. The XFL. I'm happy about it. I'm glad that they're taking their time and not rushing to put something out there. That's where I feel kills not just like things like these spring football leagues, but I feel like that's what kills any business is rushing out there. In the restaurant industry, we have a thing. You got 30 days from that time that them doors open. You have 30 days to know if you have a successful restaurant. So when you open them doors, you have to be having all the bells and whistles, not saying, "Oh, we'll make some money here and then we'll do all of that other stuff later." No, you have to come top of the line right then and there. And I do feel that the XFL when they came back around, I do feel like they did it right. The only thing that I felt hurt it was, the Rona. That was the pandemic.
right.
I feel like that was the only thing that had hurt the XFL. And the reason why I had to go bankrupt and stuff like that. And I think the NFL took notice to how it was going and was like, hey, we need to tap in this market and do something with it.
And yeah, like I said, a lot of things in pro areas and pro leagues, it's a lot about money, but I like the idea of guys being able to develop. Maybe they aren't ready for the NFL. I like the idea of guys being able to develop. So I feel like a lot of these NFL teams, they have plenty of money. I feel like they should fund some of their minor league teams. I think it should be more of like a minor league thing where the teams coexist in the same city, and so their funding can all go in one. So you won't have to, you know, get rid of the whole team or the whole organization just because fans didn't show up. A lot of fans might not show up. I don't know if a lot of fans show up to minor league baseball games, to be honest, but it's so much money in baseball that when you have a branch off of an organization, they still have enough money to fund their organization. But I'm all for it being an opportunity for guys to get better and maybe get better there and before they take the next step into the professional world of football,
Right. And they picked some good locations too. So these are highly populated locations. So, I mean, I'm hoping people will tune in because we definitely want to see more football,
Yeah, the
twenty
fact
four
that
seven.
Texas has like 3 locations, bro, I think that's crazy.
Yeah, but my thing, how do you get people to come to those games? Like, what do you sell? Like maybe a player, I don't know, a
I
player with
mean,
a big name go and play. I don't know. What do you sell to get the fans to come out?
football, man. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I was living in Conway and I had got some XFL tickets and was about to go. The only reason that I didn't get to go was because of the pandemic. Like
Hmm.
I mean,
I would.
you be amazed how many people like love just football and they don't care about no basketball, none of that. Like they want football all year round. Like, and then when you're talking about these areas where they went and put these markets, they're where think about this: high school spring football is big in these areas. So I think it was a amazing strategy by the XFL and the NFL.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, spring football is big in these areas that they selected, and
And
I
you
think
got those.
that's also why they dropped the areas that they did have.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well. You got the training camps too. So you got a lot of recruiting in those areas as well. So and you got
Yeah.
your national team. So all right. So wrapping up Big Ten Media Days recap. We had a week full of information. So we got Kevin Warren rips the NCAA, saying that the NIL should happened years ago, and these issues could have been avoided. Mike, what you got to say on this?
Man, y'all know me. I was locked in to Big Ten media days, and Kevin Warren. I mean, he's 1,000% right about NCAA, and because it took the courts, it took Congress, it took the government and everybody getting involved for this to happen. And it shouldn't have happened like that. And that's why you have what they say. This is why you do not have competitive balance when it comes to NIL, because all the states' rules are completely different, and some states have bigger advantages than other states as well. So, I mean, I think Kevin Warren was right about it. I mean, shoot, I think the NCAA needs to be put on notice. I think that's also been a problem. Nobody has put them on notice, and really what you're seeing from these ADs, these commissioners, from these presidents, they're letting their balls drop. Sorry, I gotta say, they're letting their balls drop, and I like it.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
I definitely agree.
And another thing, man, it's just like we've been screaming about the NIL deals for a while. If they're gonna come with no regulations over it, that I feel like they should have been done it as well. Like we've been asking for guys to be paid in college for quite some time now, and if it's gonna be this unregulated with no regulation, this the way it is now, we could have been did that 5-10 years ago. We could have been progressed into the right way it's supposed to be, so a lot of teams wouldn't have the advantage. And we could have also had NCAA football back a long time ago. So I agree with Coach. We could, if we're gonna do it with no rules and no regulations over it, we could have been done this.
Right.
And the problems could have been fixed themselves.
Yeah. Also, what Kevin Warren said is there could be a possibility of a 16-team playoff is starting to be thrown around out there. I don't like that 16 teams. I just think because the reason why is because it's a lot. And then not just that, but when you look at the drop off from the top 4 teams, you go and look at these teams at 16, 15, you're just like, nah, bruh. Like, why? But
I'm all.
I mean,
I'm for a 16 playoff. I feel like 16s would be a nice competitive balance because, maybe the number 1 team loses, and that 16 is just as good as the number 2 team. Sometimes that number 1 takes off and they're just better than everyone. So
well, if you do a 6 team, you're gonna have the first 2 have a bye.
Exactly. The first 2 teams with a bye week and everyone else fight it out. That's respectfully so. That's what we expect. And my thing is, the way Georgia defense was last year, that would be like the team you would have to give a bye to. Like, there wasn't a lot of teams competing with Georgia, but the way Alabama was playing, I've seen them go to toe with Auburn. Say, for instance, they get a team in the playoffs that can match up with them and go toe to toe for them. I would have liked to see that type of deal, but moving into the future, I think 6 will work, but I think 16 is way too many. 16 teams will eliminate a lot of bowl games. The importance of bowls will be kind of they won't be as important. Bowl games now don't mean a lot to some fan bases. It's like championship or nothing to some guys. But me, I still like bowl wins.
Oh yeah, I'm all as a Tennessee fan. Look, bowl wins is everything. We can go to a bowl. We made it this season. That sounds like a successful season to me. So
that's successful.
Yes, and I mean it also gives fans the opportunity to go and travel to these different cities and different places, especially for these bowl games that they've never been before. And then and then also, I mean, revenue and bringing in income for those cities as well. So I'm all for keeping it the way it is. So we got Maryland's coach, Mike, talking about how the QB is one of the most underrated, most overrated player. Underrated.
Yeah.
I got him saying he's
Mike,
most underrated.
Yeah, Mike Locksley came out and said that his quarterback, what is it, Talia is Talia Tovalunga. I'm sorry I messed
Tua's
that up,
brother.
man. Yeah, Tua's
Tua's
little
brother.
Tua,
brother.
yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
to make him as, I don't want him to be known as Tua's little brother. Like I think he wanted his own name on that. So I'm gonna try to respect that. But basically, Mike Locksley came out, said that he's the most underrated quarterback in the nation. And to be honest, man, I honestly I kind of agree with him because, it's sitting here right now, he will probably go down as the best quarterback in Maryland history as well. You look at their season last year and you see like the skill guys that got hurt, that they lost, that possibly could have helped them out. And then he also went ahead and said that they returned all 5 offensive linemen. I don't think that the offense is going to be Maryland's issue. They can get the defense fixed. I think that they're going to be a problem and that they can possibly surprise some teams like a Penn State. And if anybody is following me on Twitter or anything like that, I did say my way too early was Maryland upsetting that team up north. So.
And my thing is this: we did talk about last week that Tua is one of those. I'm sorry, Tua's little brother, that guy, however you pronounce his name. He's one of those quarterbacks we got on the list with a lot to prove. Like you said, all these things lines up for Maryland to be a pretty decent football team next year. And they don't have the toughest schedule, but they do play the likes of Michigan next year. And he has a lot to prove. If he want to consider himself big time, beat that team. And I honestly know he's a great quarterback. I watched him throughout high school. I thought he was just as good as Big Bro, but he didn't have the resources around him. He was also coveted. He moved around a lot. He's changed schools in college. And like I said, he's one of those guys that have a lot to prove. He got his whole line. They're veterans. What's stopping you from being a great quarterback this upcoming season?
Just to let y'all know, so in 2021, he passed for 3,860 yards with 26 touchdowns.
He just had that one bad game against Iowa, but Iowa had one of the best secondaries in the nation, though. That was the thing. And then he didn't have his skill guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good quarterback.
Yeah. Making note.
He's saying, talk about my guy. So, yeah.
All right.
Look, I'm looking forward to hearing more from Maryland this upcoming season. And then switching over, to that team up north, we got so we got Jim Harbaugh. So apparently, he really didn't want anyone to ask him a question. Is that normal for him?
Bro, Jim Harbaugh is always weird like that.
He's always have that attitude towards the media. I don't know. He's upset. I don't know what's his deal,
I don't understand how anybody commits to this coach, bro. He cannot be the same person that we see on national TV. He just cannot be the same person, bro. But it was just reporters were asking him questions, and then he was just it was just mumbo jumbo. It was just, and then he was like, "Well, I answered your question," and everybody's looking at it. And then was like, "No, you didn't." And then they were like, "Well, does anybody else have a question for Jim Harbaugh?" And then the room was just completely silent.
What?
Bro, you are the reigning Big Ten champions, and everybody's just like, "Screw it, I don't want to ask you no questions no more. I just wait later to do it."
Come on,
you
Jim.
at the podium.
What do the players say about when they're working with him? And then
I want to know.
I mean,
we got it.
They say that they love Jim Harbaugh, man. They speak his praises. It's crazy. I feel like they a coat up there or something, man.
I want to know his player relationship as well, man, because he might have us fooled. I noticed he has an attitude a lot. He feel like the media is counting him out a lot. I don't get it. There's a lot of respect for Michigan. There's a lot of respect for that program. I just don't get that.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
He just be saying off the wall stuff. This is exactly what he said. So they're supposed to be a quarterback battle, and Cade McNamara was basically the starter last year, and so he's saying it's going to be very hard for Cade to lose his starting spot, and it's going to be very hard for JJ to lose his starting spot.
Two quarterbacks?
I'm confused. So basically, what you're telling us is you're doing a 2 quarterback system again. Like, just be honest about it and just say it, bro. Like, there
Has
is no
anyone
quarterback.
successfully had a quarterback system? Does anyone
Bro,
successfully do that?
Urban Meyer with Tim Tebow and Chris Lee.
That was college football a long time ago. I remember those Florida days.
But I mean, they were successful last year doing it. They did it last year. I know that they did it against Ohio State, and he came in, and he wasn't a slouch, so he did make plays as well. So I can't take nothing away from that. I just feel, I just don't like Jim Harbaugh. I can't understand him, and then also for him to be a quarterback whisperer, he still has not produced a quarterback. So. I mean, he's been honestly like all of his quarterbacks. He just fortunately attained them. Like he never like went and got a quarterback and developed them, bro. Like I'm still haven't seen it.
Oh,
But
and he also listed some goals, the usual of beat Ohio State, Michigan State the same year, win the Big Ten, make some plays, and I guess he's trying to win the Natty. So we're really about to see what's going on. And then he also mentioned that beating Ohio State is now the norm.
yeah, I just don't understand. Like you did it 1 year and you're like since you've been there, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like if it's the norm, like if you won in Columbus, if you did it 2 times in a row, or if you have done it, like I could understand that. But to just do it after just 1 year, that's crazy, bro. Like I just think he wilding. He probably on that like Pat Narduzzi drink or whatever Kool-Aid that he on. I mean, actually Mel Tucker was asked about that, and he was like, "Man, I'm not about to go into hypotheticals about something that's not gonna happen. Basically, Pitt ain't good enough for the Big Ten, bro." So they did ask Mel Tucker about that. Somebody on Facebook user says that was their Super Bowl. They ain't beating Ohio State no more. Goddamn
Hey man,
right.
Yeah.
we gotta wait till the game is between the stripes, man. I'm not saying what they're gonna do and what they're not gonna do. Michigan surprised a lot of people last year beating those guys, but Ohio State had the situation at quarterback. They didn't know what was going on.
Exactly.
They don't. So
You
we'll
mean on
see, man.
defense? They knew what was going on at quarterback. They didn't know what was going on defense.
Yeah, but the same quarterback y'all started the year with was not the quarterback to end the year. So, maybe it was everything going wrong for you guys. But of course the defense wasn't there. It's always the question mark.
And Mike, what did Ohio State have to say during the what's your biggest takeaway from the Ohio State?
Well, I mean, I think the fact that Ryan Day, he's not one to ever like talk or like put anything lofty out there. But the fact that he did at Big Ten Media Days, he said that this has the potential to be a top 10 defense. I mean,
saw.
he didn't even say that when Jeff Hafley came in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just think that, I want to see it, man. I want to see it. I do know the defense can't be any worse, but I need to see it first. I mean, we heard from the defensive guy, Ronnie Hickman, that they brought there. Basically, what he said was that we don't have to think about 1,000 things before we react. And then I was talking to some guys in the spaces, and he actually brought up that's exactly the same thing that our defensive guys were saying in 2018, right when we got Jeff Hafley. So, I mean, hey, we're expecting that same type of transformation, man.
I mean,
honestly, I just think that we'll be playing our best defense by the end of the season. That's what I feel. We'll be playing our best defense by the end of the season.
You will need to be playing your best defense by the end of the season.
Big facts.
Especially if y'all talking about taking home the Natty.
Big facts.
All right. So last week we got together, between last week and this week, we got together to list our top 5 defensive players. So in any given form, fashion, position, team, it does not matter. So we're going to go down this list, give our facts and our reasons, and we go see we're gonna talk about accountability in the upcoming episodes as soon as the football season starts. So, EG, we're gonna start with you. Who you got first?
You know, I gotta respect the best defensive player in the country. I'm gonna go with Will Anderson. Everyone in the country should know this is the best defensive player in the country. If he could go into the NFL as a sophomore, he would have done it last year and still been maybe the first overall pick. And he's just a guy. He should be in the pros right now, and he's coming back for another year. I expect nothing less than 8 to 10 sacks. Just a great year from him. But second, I got I got who I think is the best defensive tackle in the country, and it's no other than Jaylen Carter for UGA. So Jaylen Carter, he's a guy. When he come in the game last year, they were calling him. Let me think of Georgia. Who was Georgia Jordan Davis. They was calling him Mini Jordan Davis last year, and he was just a sophomore last year. He had over about 4 sacks, about 9 tackles for loss, somewhere in there. And he's just a guy. I think he'll be the top defensive tackle in the country. He's going to stop the run. He's going to get sacks. He's going to chase your quarterback down. I think he'll be a guy making a lot of noise who's going to be a first top 20 draft pick for next year, right along with Will Anderson. And third, I got another UGA dog. I got Nolan Smith, who's pound for pound maybe the best edge rusher behind Will Anderson, he's listed as an outside linebacker, but we know he's more of an edge rusher. He's a guy who's returning. He had around 7 or 8 sacks last season. He's a guy who very much is a first round draft pick. I think he's coming to make a lot of noise in college football this year, taking over for what Georgia already has. I mean, Georgia's bringing guys in. He's a 5-star recruit, just plug and play guy. Like, he's everything Georgia represents. Defense, he's coming just to do the same thing Georgia does every year, play great defense. And my fourth guy I got Eli Ricks. Here's a guy as a freshman at LSU, he had 4 picks as a freshman when they threw to his side. Now, his second year, he didn't have but 1 pick because the guys wouldn't throw to his side. And he's a 6'2" cornerback. I have no reason. I don't understand why he would leave LSU to go to Alabama, but I guess he feels like he want to win a championship. He took his talents from LSU to Alabama, which is something I really don't like the trading within conference thing. But he took his talents from LSU to Alabama, and I think he's actually the best corner in the country. I think he's a little better than Kelly Ringo from Georgia. If you ask me, one-on-one, I like the guy. Zone, I like the guy. And I think Eli Ricks will make a lot of noise on Alabama defense because he's just got to worry about him. LSU was kind of bad last year. So, they wasn't throwing his way, but the team as a whole, the defense as a whole wasn't quite as good as they should be. But next year when he's on Alabama, I expect him to be the best DB in the country. I I expect him to leap over Kelly Ringo as the number 1 DB drafted. And last but not least, I got who I think is the best safety in the country. Yeah, there's guys out there with more interceptions. There's guys out there with more pass breakups. But when you talk about a complete safety, I think of Jordan Battle from Alabama. This guy can hit hard. This guy can play coverage as good as any safety I've seen. He had about 3 to 4 interceptions last year, maybe 4. I think he had 4. And he even returned a few for a touchdown. So my thing is, when I look at this guy, I see Ed Reed. I see a lot of Ed Reed tendencies with this guy, Jordan Battle. He's a hard-hitting guy. He's gonna knock you out. He's gonna pick the ball off. He's gonna make plays all over the field. I expect him to be a top 20 draft pick in this year's draft as well. Those are my 5 defensive players who I think are gonna make a difference next year. We know Will Anderson is that guy. But those 5 guys, some people might not know my other guys. I feel like we know Will Anderson is understood. But those other 4 guys I think they'll make a lot of noise and surprise a lot of people. All right, Mike, go ahead. I see you anxious.
Yeah, man. You gotta first you gotta stop trying to do like the NCAA and stop trying to take these decisions away from these boys, man. They want to transfer, let them transfer where they want to transfer.
I don't like it. I don't
Yeah,
like it.
it is what it
It's
is,
my
man.
thing.
Hey, these kids that had too many restrictions for too long, let
Why
them
leave
have
LSU?
freedom.
Go
Trying to
ahead.
get that ring.
Yeah, so my five is gonna be, obviously I got Will Anderson, and then obviously for all the reasons that you gave, but then I'm gonna go with my D line man, Brian Brees. Everybody's expecting him from Clemson to be doing great things. He's gonna be leading that defensive line there, and I'm hoping that even with Brett Venables being gone, I think that he's still going to be able to have a great season. And then, Noah Sewell from Oregon, linebacker. One thing that Mario did is he filled that linebacker room up with some elite talent. I think that Oregon is going to have some elite linebacker play this year, and it's going to be led by Noah Sewell. Dude's a beast. One of my guys, man, cornerback Clark Phillips, man, he flipped his commitment from Ohio State to Utah once Jeff Hafley got the job at Boston College. And to be honest, man, it was a great business decision for him. He has been balling out there. I mean, and then, he was covering guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba. He actually made Jackson Smith and Jigba fumble in the Rose Bowl right before Jackson Smith and Jigba went in for a touchdown. He also played great coverage against Marvin Harrison Jr. as well. So I think that people are going to learn about Clark Phillips, especially week one, going down there and playing in the swamp against Florida. So everybody remember Clark Phillips III, man, dude is a beast. And another DB, I got Jair Brown from Penn State, man. When you talk about Penn State's defense, especially their secondary, you have to mention Jair Brown. Yeah, Penn State is known for their linebacker play. But when you want to talk about who's going to help out in the secondary and stop, playmakers that the Big Ten is starting to trying to have, is going to be Jair Brown, man. So, and if anybody couldn't tell, I kind of did my list. I wanted to jumble it up, guys from each conference. So that's how I kind of did my list.
I like the Jair Brown thing, man. That guy, I think he had 6 interceptions last year.
Dude's a
He's
beast. He's a ball hawk.
He's the safety back there, and he's pretty nice. He's a guy who's gonna pick the ball off, and the Noah Sewell pick, man. I love that guy. That big number 1 guy, man, all over the field. I'm talking. He'll sack your quarterback. He'll pick the ball off. He can cover for a linebacker, and he can just flat out hit. You don't meet a lot of Samoans that are that gifted.
Oh yeah, yeah for sure. And thinking, let me move on to my top five. So let me do a little disclaimer. I did cheat, so I hope y'all saw our or a couple episodes ago where Mike mentioned the Pick Six preview. So make sure if you haven't grabbed a copy, go ahead and do that today. Gives you a lot of information. So I'm gonna start off with Mikhail Jones and Cuse, Syracuse, go Cuse, one of my alma mater. So I graduated from there. So of course I had to list that. Tony White, the defensive coordinator, they actually had the best defense season since 2009. So since I've been there, the Syracuse sucks. But with him and the trio is one of the main reasons why the defense succeeded so much. And Jones was named as first team All ACC. So after I think he had 110 tackles, I want to say, for a loss of 13 yards. So I think, and he's a defensive captain, so I think he got a lot of proof this season. I also listed Jack Campbell in Iowa. He led the entire nation in tackles. I think he had 143 tackles and a pick six. So I think I didn't list Iowa as one of my sleeper teams, but I think this year. And don't quote me on this. Iowa could be one of the teams to watch when it comes to defense. And he's also one of the first team All-American candidates as well. And then another sleeper team I listed, Baylor. Uh, I'm gonna butcher this name. Siaki Iku. Okay. Baylor is one of my sleeper teams. And Grant Long, if y'all missed that episode, um, he mentioned Baylor. So I've been doing a lot of research on Baylor, and Siaki Iku has been everywhere. He's 6'3", 370 pounds. So and he blitz. They're planning on blitzing more, and that's what I like to see. So I think this upcoming season is going to be crazy. And then another one of my sleeper teams, USC. I know y'all got beef with Lincoln Riley. Okay, we get it. But we got Tuit Polutu and Lincoln Riley, and I believe that since USC did lose Drake Johnson, that he's gonna have to step up to the plate, you know. And then as well as return as all Pac-12 honors as well. So we also got Brian Young, both on Bama and Tennessee. If you don't know him from Tennessee, he had he had 11.5 tackles for a loss. So that actually placed him in the top 5 defensive linemen for the SEC. So if that tells y'all anything, that's how the SEC is rolling right now. So yeah,
how you ain't pick Henry Toto?
Uh,
He from
I thought
Tennessee.
one of y'all. Yeah, I was gonna say I thought one of y'all was gonna pick it. So but I just, like to give the benefit of the doubt players. And, this is really, my list is mostly players I like to see improve and step up to the plate this upcoming
I see a Tennessee fan pop up here. What's up, Drew?
Yeah.
What's good?
Hey. But yeah, I like your list, Diz. I like your list. I like how you dug players that people might not know about. Put those guys on the radar. Get those guys' names out there. Get out of here, Mike. We don't fool with that guy.
Y'all mad at y'all got smoke for Henry? Y'all got smoke for Toto? What?
Mm-mm.
Dang, I ain't know y'all Tennessee fans go like that, bruh.
Hey,
y'all vicious, bro. Y'all had smoke for my man Carnell Tate and everything, bro. Go Buck.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, my bad. Excuse my French. I know. We ain't even about to bring that up right now.
Cornell Tate, man, I don't have anything to say. Yeah, I got a nice group of guys coming, man. He swayed those people in, though. He did. I thought he was gonna be a Tennessee Volunteer. I did. Me and my guy Andrew, the guy who was just coming, we talked a lot about that guy.
Hey, he said Henry messed up. You don't transfer to Bama, man. Hey, man. I'm still a J-Mo.
Doing that.
I'm still a J-Mo fan, bro. J-Mo transferred to Bama, man. I like to see guys succeed when they leave, bro. That just goes to show, bro. Like your program, you had good development if they was able to go and then start right away. Which Henry was a main contributor, wasn't he? Right away. So I mean,
I don't like the transfer, especially not within conferences, man. That right there sucks, man. I don't like that, man.
But Henry had been at Tennessee for like 3 years, right? My thing is this: if you've been at the school for 3 years, man, I don't even care. Like, go anywhere, bro. Go anywhere. The only ones that I don't like is like the 1 and 2 years, because like your first year is always gonna be the hardest. You know what I'm saying? And then I just feel like, I just feel like you have to at least give it 3 years for the full development. Some guys got it, but sometimes you need that extra year.
Like you said, man, like we had 2 guys who from Louisiana played with us for 3 years, man, decided to go to LSU for their last year. LSU has a new coach. They're building a new foundation. We already establishing our foundation. We 3 years into our new foundation. What makes you leave this program and go there? You're a starter. You're going to get drafted if you're good. What make you leave the program and go to LSU?
Some people like used car salesmen, man.
I understand and want to be at home or whatever. But
also, it's about the coaching. Sometimes you click better with coaches on,
you spend 3 years with a program and they make you successful, and you go to a school that didn't recruit you initially. That's just different, man. That's different.
It's about that bad.
I wish those guys luck, and I hope they have a great season. I'm not a fan of them anymore.
I got you, man. Well, I got nothing else for you all, man. Yeah.
Nope, that's it for me. Hey, also it's probably something down in that water in New Orleans. That's what it is, baby. Hey, but I appreciate y'all tuning in today. Make sure you go ahead and follow us on all social media platforms, like and subscribe. Make sure you retweet. We are there. They are in spaces on Twitter every day. Look, you gonna find Mike and EG, so make sure y'all tune in and follow us for all updates. Also, if y'all haven't seen, if you were following us on social, you would have seen the latest. We dropping some merch. We got Jen helping us out, so we're gonna be dropping some merch soon. So make sure y'all definitely hitting that like and follow button
Yep.
because we want y'all, especially who's been here from the beginning, to make sure y'all go ahead and get y'all merch in and
Yeah.
wear it to all these games y'all going to.
And don't forget, we are on TikTok.
Oh yeah, we
Hey,
are on
let's
TikTok.
go.
Yes, we're
Make
gonna
sure you
add
hit the
TikTok.
follow button. We've been getting the views, but we ain't been getting the follows. Make sure you
Yes,
hit that follow button on TikTok, guys.
yes. And then if you missed some of tonight's episode, make sure you catch us tomorrow morning. We are on all streaming platforms. And if that's all for tonight, we'll see you on social.
Let's go. Follow the Fans Edge, baby.